guys, thank you so much for calling in for our weekly Dreamers in Action team call. I love seeing all of your guys' faces and love just, connecting once a week and staying lit up and staying excited and motivated and driven together. So before we get into the call, and Rachel's hosting tonight, she's got some great speakers and testimonials to start with. I just want to first of all say congratulations on a huge first 30 days of the 90-day action plan. I mean, I just think so many people came back from San Antonio fired up in just absolute momentum. And in the last 14 days, the amount of people that have hit the 5-cycle bonus and rank advance to manager or crystal director and having record high cycle weeks. And, I'm so excited to write out all the checks with Lori in the next couple weeks for all of you that have just crushed those goals. But enrollments are up, double PIVs are up, I talked to Kathy Coover last night about, our trip to Phoenix. We're making some changes, and she was like, what is happening with your team? And she was like, there are some serious rank advancements and enrollments happening. And she was like, every week we get the report. And she was like talking about this team. And I thought that was so awesome and so fun that they're aware of what's happening. And Kendra Bratton last week, her husband, as being a product user for so long and never going inactive, got to consultant. And that cycle is, oh my gosh, 22 times, you guys, just immediately to 2-star silver circle. She hit the 5-cycle bonus in her business. Awesome. Anushka Ganji hit the 5-cycle bonus again for the second time. I know that we had more people go crystal manager, and Haley went crystal director. She started today in the director leadership pools. After this call, we get to teach her how to grab $2,500 in the March pools. So just so fun. And I just want to tell you guys that we're in week 5 of the 90-day game plan. So week 5 of 12, we're starting the second 30-day sprint. And it's a really good time to just say, all right, am I on track? Am I ahead of track? Or am I a little bit behind maybe where I want to be right now? And don't be hard on yourself. There's no punishment if you're not there. And if you're doing things and kicking butt and above the schedule, that's awesome. But just do some reflection and say, okay, what are the things that I'm doing really well? What are the things that have been aiding in my success or getting me to where I want to be? And what are some things I maybe need to do a little bit differently of? What are some things that I can try to do differently in order to really make my dreams and goals happen in the next 30 days? So before I turn the call over, I just have a couple announcements for you, and then I have a story. But we've got great events coming up, you guys, and just a lot of things in the pipeline. But for those of you here in Denver, Ignite Your Life is growing every week again. So make sure you're bringing people every Wednesday to the opportunity meeting. Melanie and I are doing a breakfast and babes event Friday morning. So if you're in the Tech Center area, we're treating to breakfast and doing a brief launch party. Monday, I'm partnering with Ashley and Amanda and Alyssa, Christina, Kendra. We're going to do a happy hour at Sloan's Lake. So just check out the events calendar. I'm sure Kisa's organizing hikes or something fun in the California area. And I know the fighters have stuff in New Jersey. So just stay in touch with your leaders, watch the events and just make sure you guys are staying plugged into those. And then on March 25th, we have our Denver Super Saturday, and I just got off the phone with Selena and Travis Ogden, and that Friday night we're going to do a special dinner, and then that Saturday, you guys, they just told me they're working on a special guest, and I don't know if that's going to be someone else from corporate, or I have a feeling of who it's going to be, but what a treat that for the corporate roadshow tours, the president of the company picked Denver. So rumor is I might be having a leader from New Jersey come out for that event with me as well from this team. Maybe also one from St. Louis. You guys can figure out who that is, but I am pushing and praying for that. But it's going to be such a fun event. So you guys in Denver, get your people there. I'm telling you, this is going to sell out fast, but we know Travis Ogden is here. So the last thing that I want to just talk about in terms of training is the 3-way text messages and Facebook messages and memos. Oh my gosh, these are gold. And I have to give all the praise and glory to Adam Fichter because he found some video and he told a couple of us, I think we should be doing this. And I was like, why are we not telling everybody this? And then once we posted that in Dreamers and it went viral, I cannot keep track of how many Facebook threads I'm in right now, but I don't care because I equally can't keep track of the enrollments that are happening. So I think it's a win, right? But a lot of people are like, what do you mean? What are you saying? What are you doing in these messages? That a lot of times when you connect and there's this weird, do I send a video? Do I send a 3-way call? That it's almost as the immediate connection is happening, people are on board. After the first conversation, you're plugging them into people. And it's helping the shy, introverted people, because there's someone else in that thread that's a little bit more bold, a little bit more assertive, that kind of keeps the ball rolling, but there's already third-party validation. So let's just say that, I was out at coffee and I met Marla, and I was like, let's say she was a barista, and I was like, Marla, you were awesome. I said, I love your customer service. I know you're in a hurry right now. I'm busy right now, but I'd love to chat with you about an opportunity that I have at hand, I would go into a three-way message and I would have her and Ashley and Kisa and Rachael on there. And I was like, you guys, meet Marla. She's super fun. She's super exciting. I told her she'd be perfect on this team. Tell her what you love. Tell her why she'd be amazing, right? And immediately Kisa and Ashley are like pouring love into her, like, oh my gosh, you're going to be great at this, And so one of the ones that I recently did, I had a runner. I'm not a runner. I tried to run a 5K yesterday. My whole body hurts today. Just kidding. But, I'm just not like a long distance runner, but I met a runner. And so I would start a thread with like Shauna and Kristen. I'm like, you guys, I just met this amazing girl. She's training for a half marathon. I said, I want you to meet two of my friends that are amazing marathon runners. They can share with you their stories, right? And everybody's like chiming in. They're doing text messages or voice memos or whatever in Facebook, and enrollments are exploding. So if you guys are not doing this, start doing this. And for those of you that are, figure out how to manage your messages, because I just looked down a second ago, I'm in like 23 more messages. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even keep track of it. But like I said, I can't keep track of the enrollments, so who cares? I'll figure it out. And then the last thing I just really, truly, I think I've said the last thing like 8 times, but I just want to tell you guys over and over and over how much you are in the right company at the right time, in so many ways. But I will tell you that we just had a weird kind of incident on the team, someone reporting something, and I immediately, I love that we're so connected to corporate, but I immediately emailed Travis Garza, Travis Ogden, right? And I'm telling you, I pushed send, and Travis Garza called my phone, called me. I was like, whoa, I'm like, hi. And he's like, I'm so glad you emailed. And then he took time, not just with me, but for the other person in the team, like 10 to 20 minutes with both of us, explaining the situation. And it's just like, they don't have to do that, and it's just nice to know that we're in contact with our executive leadership team. We're in contact with the founders of this company, and just to be like, where else are you going to have those connections? Where else are you going to be able to have people just supporting you, cheering you on, answering your questions, dealing with weird things that happen, and just to reassure you guys that like everything about this company I'm in love with, and so much of it has to do with the culture and just the integrity of our company. So that being said, all the February contests that I ran in terms of the cycle bonuses or rank advancement bonuses or net cycle growth, free shipping, all that stuff, I'm not doing anymore except for Phoenix. Lori and I are going to get all those checks to you in the next week or two. I'm so proud of you guys. I mean, that was an incredible 30 days. But as we go the next 60 days to Phoenix, anybody can win this. Anybody. I already have an idea who's going to take first place after what happened last week, but it's always switching. Like literally the person that came in today could still win this. Everybody has the same equal playing ground. It's based on enrollments, rank advancements of your team, and event tickets. So if you have people that are not really builders, but you might get to an event, buy their celebration ticket. Those points help you in the Phoenix contest, and then transfer the ticket to them and have them pay you back. That was a big clue. That was a big hint for all of you. So hopefully you're paying attention, because I'm not saying it again. But it's going to be amazing. We did switch the dates because of Kathy Coover's schedule. So instead of going from Thursday to Sunday, we're going Wednesday to Saturday now. We'll get in Wednesday. Jim is able to join us now. So it's dinner at Grassroots. It's an incredible farm to table, really classy restaurant in Scottsdale with Jim and Kathy Coover. Janny and Craig will be there, me and a guest, and then the 3 winners and your spouses. So 12 of us. Thursday is now going to be our play day, which was going to be Saturday. So that'll be the massages and golf or whatever. Friday is our VIP tour, and then dinner at Travis and Holly's house. Like, you guys, the president of the company invited us to their house for dinner. Win that trip. Like, what an amazing opportunity to be able to spend hours in their backyard, and then we'll come home Saturday. So you guys all can do this. Hustle hard. Enroll, rank advance others, and buy those event tickets. So I'm excited to turn the call over to my sister, that called yesterday crying because I was like, I miss you. You're too far. And I will also tell you guys that when I talked to her the other day about the call, and I was like, are you driving? And she's like, no, why? And I was like, because it's really loud. Like, it sounded like Bluetooth, and the windows are down. And she's like, is that the ocean? And I was like, oh, I'm not even talking to you right now. I was like, I'm hanging up this phone. But Rachael is a 2-star Golden Circle. I mean, she has just a team and massive momentum. Like every time I pull up the blueprints, I'm like, holy cow, Rachael's team is just exploding. So I've seen Rachael's growth over 3 years, and there is nobody better on this team than to train on overcoming objections. So Rachael, I'm going to mute and turn the call over to you.
Thank you, Lauren. Can you guys hear me okay? I closed my door so you won't hear the ocean. I'm having a blast, but I am so incredibly grateful. You guys, my life has changed drastically in the last 3 weeks, and it's been way too long since I've been able to be on this call. I guess sharing my thoughts and inspirations with you. So I'm super stoked and super excited. I just want to remind everyone too, if you haven't muted, go ahead and make sure to mute your lines. And I am super excited because I get to talk to you about overcoming objections. And I'm going to get into that in just a minute. But for those of you who don't know me, like Lauren said, I am her sister. I was introduced to Isagenix about 3 years ago. And before then, I was someone who had gotten a doctorate degree in clinical psychology. I was over $200,000 in debt from that degree. I was working about 60 to 80 hours a week as a hospital administrator in Denver, Colorado. Plus I was teaching group fitness exercise classes on the side and trying to maintain some sort of work-life balance. And it was exhausting. And I thought that was going to be my life basically till I was 55, 60, 65 years old, when I would eventually be able to retire. Luckily, my sister introduced me to these fabulous products that were life-changing, absolutely magnificent. But at the time, I also told her thanks, but no thanks when it came to the business side. I had a phenomenal product transformation. I loved them. I started telling every single person I knew about them because as a healthcare practitioner, I really truly felt that this was the best thing since sliced bread and people were having these great results, but I didn't want anything to do with the business side. Well, sure enough, luckily, Lauren placed people under me or made me their enrolling sponsor. So I got some of the cashback bonuses and referral rebates from Isagenix. And I called her and I was like, well, you know, I just got like $700. What's this all about? She said, well, you sent Joe and Susie and Aaron and, you know, whoever the few people were that I initially enrolled. And I said, well, that's awesome. All I cared about was helping them, but I'll take some extra cash too. Who wouldn't? And of course, she got me to go to one of the Isagenix corporate events. It was NYKO in 2014, and it literally blew my mind. And from here on out, everything has been leading towards where I am today. It started with building this business in the pockets of my time, whenever I could, literally sitting on the toilet or walking in between meetings, to now being able to retire my 10-year career at the hospital and obviously moving to Mexico to do this full time. So I'm so excited. And if you have any doubt in your mind of whether or not this can work, if I can do it, I promise you anyone on the planet can do it. So that being said, before we jump in, I do want to turn it over quickly and highlight the product spotlight of the week. I have an awesome product transformation testimonial for you, and I have a phenomenal business testimonial for you. So first, Ashley, are you there? Are you gonna be on the video or on the phone? Do you want me to show the fiber snack?
Yeah, I'm on video.
Awesome. Oh, hello.
Oh, wait,
upside down. There you go.
Whoops. I only have this kind, but because I ate all the peanut ones already. I guess I'll just get started though. But hey guys, I hope you guys are all having a great night. I just wanted to throw you a little 411 on these awesome products. The fiber snacks. These little golden and chocolate bars of yumminess are gluten-free and they taste amazing. So yes, I did say gluten-free and amazing in the same sentence. Which is rare. So yeah, but not only are they packed with 6 grams of fiber, which is about 24% of your daily suggested intake, which to keep things flowing, if you know what I mean. They have also added in 6 grams of protein as well, which is way better than eating a hard-boiled egg, if you ask me. So they come in 2 different flavors. There's honey almond crisp, which is this one, and then they also have my personal favorite, which is the peanut chocolate chew. These are actually really unique because they have 2 types of hunger-curbing fiber. It actually helps support digestion. It'll help you feel full for longer, and it also adds support to the immune system. It guards against the protection of harmful bacteria, which I didn't know that. So that was kind of interesting. So with only 150 calories per bar and 0 trans fats, it's the perfect snack for your shake days. Expectant mommies can do it, and you can throw them in your kids' lunches or even just for a late night craving. These are not meal replacement bars, so don't do that. They're just supposed to be for snacks. And then so grab these kid tested approved mom approved bars for $23.95 per box, and you get it's an additional 16 BV in your order. So if you haven't tried them yet, I really strongly advise it. But thanks for letting me share this with you guys tonight, and I hope you have a great night. Thanks, Rachel. I miss you too.
I miss you, and I hope your foot gets better soon. So sorry about that.
Sorry for everybody having to deal with me in my bed right now.
Hey, that's the beauty of this job, right? Not even job. Awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah. And Jackie, I'm going to turn it over to you to share your awesome product testimonial with us, please.
Hi, Rachel. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. Thanks for having me. So I happen to be a blessed mom of a 20-year-old beautiful daughter. And really, it was 10th grade. Her 10th grade prom that she went to, the pictures of myself, that was the first time I took a look and said, oh my God, what's happening to me? And it's the first time I've ever thought, wow, I actually have extra weight on me. First time in my life. Move forward, and I actually deleted those pictures that I was included in, which makes me really sad. But I was so disgusted. Move forward to, another year or two, really her senior year. And I was desperate. I was depressed and frustrated, going into every department store, every dressing room, spending so much time and money, constantly buying new clothes because I just kept packing on the weight. And I had no idea why. I really was not a big eater. I slept horribly. I had broken sleep every night, and I attribute that to being in I would say a negative, drama-filled environment in my life, personally and professionally. But I didn't sleep well. I would yawn all day long, and that's significant, and I'll, follow up with that after. I had a lot of joint pain in my hips and my lower back constantly, and I was just miserable. I felt horrible. And I thought it was just my age. I think I was 47 at the time. And I had a sit-down job, and that's all I thought it was. Well, December 2014, my daughter's senior year, I got that wonderful phone call from my brother, Mark, in Colorado. And he said, hey, I'm trying something, and I'm having fantastic success with it. I think you should try it. Now, this was December. I'm a single mom, and my initial reaction was to come up with an excuse as to why I shouldn't do it and couldn't afford to do it. And fortunately, he really impressed upon me that there was the 30-day money-back guarantee, and I just decided I didn't want to feel that way anymore. So as a result, I put the products in my body, and not only did I lose 7 pounds my first 30 days, but really, within a week and a half, I noticed I was sleeping through the night. I had energy during the day. And one of the most significant things I noticed that I thought was funny is I was never yawning anymore. I literally feel like I've yawned 3 times in 2 years. And I'm not kidding, and I hope I don't yawn right now, but it's significant. It's so crazy to me. Little by little, I noticed the things such as I was never bloated. I lost a bunch of inches. I was wearing my daughter's clothes. I went from a 9'10" that I was starting to grow out of and go higher down to a 2'4". And I felt amazing. I was lit up. I had all this energy. And one of the things I noticed was my hips no longer bothered me. My back no longer bothered me. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. And then the second month came and I lost some more weight. Altogether, I lost 15 pounds. And for the last 2 years, I've maintained a size 4.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
50 years old in May, and I will never go a day without putting this in my body. I'm sorry. Hey. Sorry about that. And sharing it with everybody. It's amazing. I feel fabulous.
You look fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing, Jackie. Thank you. And one more, I'm going to go ahead and just keep moving us along so that we get on time schedule. Make sure to let everyone get back to their dinner and their families. But Kristen, are you there?
I am here.
Awesome. I'm going to turn it over to you so you can also share on the business side what's been going on and the success you've been having.
Awesome. Thank you. So just about a year and a couple months ago, I was introduced to Isagenix by my friend Jen Feister. And when I reluctantly enrolled, I told her that there was no way I would ever share. It's just not something that I was made for, nothing I wanted to do. After a few days of using the products, I was on fire. My house was clean. I caught up on everything. My husband came home and my kids and I were running around the house, had totally enough energy to chase after 4 boys, 5 and under. About half a month into my first 30 days, my little 5-year-old said, "Mom, you were so filled with joy." And from that moment on, I was stuck on the products. There was no way I wasn't going to use them. About a month later, my husband came home from school. He's going to seminary full-time and working a part-time job. He came home and he said, "Kristen, you can't order products anymore." And I said, "No, I am not going back to what I was like a month and a half ago. Do you really want me to go back to that shell of a mom that I was?" And he said, "I don't know what else to tell you. We can't afford it." We were not reallocating food money like others because we were accepting state aid since we're making these life changes of going through ministry, going to school full time, so that my husband could become a pastor. And so he said, "I don't know what else to tell you, Kristen. You better start sharing." And so that's what I did. I started sharing, and now we see Isagenix as an opportunity to support our family and our ministry, to not have to worry about finding a church that can afford to pay for our family, a large family, but to be able to go anywhere we feel God calling us so that we can go and have Isagenix being our financial support. And I mean, besides that, why wouldn't I want every mom to feel as good as I do? So, you know, I was saying to Rachael today, I said, with 5 boys, 6 and under, I now have 5, 6 and under, it is hard to be driving my car as fast as I want to and get where I want to be in Isagenix as quickly as I would like. But as long as I don't put my car in park, I am proud of myself. I will put it on cruise every once in a while. I will work hard at 2 a.m. after the baby wakes up, just because I know, I have 5 minutes. I can send out a couple messages. I will work while laying underneath 5 kids because I see what this will do for my family. And I have seen just through some of our financial changes in just the last year. So I'm super excited about our opportunity. And I know everybody says it, but seriously, if I can do it, you can do it. You know, you can find pockets like, was that Rachael? You said you do it on the toilet every once in a while. I've been there. I've shared messages from the potty. Thank you, Rachael, for letting me share.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Ashley, Jackie, and Kristen, all wonderful stories. And I think that that's hopefully enough to just show everyone that we are all human beings. We're all ordinary people literally doing extraordinary things. So I appreciate everyone's honesty and vulnerability and everything that they've shared. So I'm going to turn it over. We're going to talk a little bit about the topic tonight. We have about a half an hour left. And there's 2 things. So the topic is overcoming objections. And I'm going to definitely go into some of the typical ones. And we're going to talk about ways that you can have some language around them. But before we even go into talking about the objections themselves, I want to have kind of a higher level discussion, because at the end of the day, I don't want anyone to be afraid of objections. I don't want the word objections to feel like a negative thing, or that people are resistant or they're reluctant to enroll, and that you have to get nervous or have some sort of anxiety that they're going to come up with an objection, right? Objections really, truly are just, people need more information. They just don't have enough information yet to make an informed decision. And with more education, with more knowledge, with more time, with whatever it may be, it's going to help them to decide whether or not Isagenix is for them. And when you come from the place that probably every single one of us is on this call at this point, we know these products are amazing. We know this company is phenomenal. We know the culture is hands down the best that you've ever been a part of. We know what the community will do for people, right? So your posture, your conviction, and your belief is what's first and foremost the priority of what you need to do to help someone see that for themselves, to cast a vision, to show them where they are before they can even believe it. Because we know what it's going to be, that they're asking legitimate questions for a reason. And so much of the way that you talk to someone, and so much of the way that you respond to people's questions, and when you introduce and when you share your 30-second story, comes from your own posture, your own conviction, your own belief that you have something that they need. And I listened to a call a week or two ago that Jessica Regner had done with Lynn Hagedorn, and she said she truly comes with an attitude of not caring. Now, of course, she cares about people, and of course she cares about doing the best thing for them and helping them, but she has truly this attitude of not caring whether or not they enroll, because she knows she has a gift, but it's up to them to choose whether or not to partake in it or to accept it, and it may not be for everyone, and we have to be okay. So we want to first come from a place of not sounding desperate, and it is not of, wanting to get an enrollment, but really truly believing 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10 in the products, in the company, in network marketing, in your belief, and then you won't have any concern or anxiety or nerves around getting an objection. It'll just be another question that you're prepared to answer. So that's one thing that I wanted to make sure to just sort of pass on to you guys. Now, when we go into objections or questions, I see Laura is saying detach yourself from the outcome. That's the best way to really truly say it, is you're just here to be the messenger, but not to rely on what the final outcome is. Absolutely. So no matter what it is that they come back at you with, or another point that I wanted to make before I go there is also anticipate these questions that people are going to have, right? So if we go into the conversation knowing that most people are going to care about how much it's going to cost, whether or not they have the time to do it, and whether or not it's going to work for them, is really going to cover 80 or 90% of the typical types of questions that you're going to be getting from people when you're talking to them. So during the conversation, the more that you can preemptively address those things, the more it's not going to feel like they're asking you or they're objecting to you or they're resistant in any way, because you're already explaining something that they're going to have a question about, right? And then no matter what it is, and no matter what the objection or the question may be, there's a very awesome saying or sentence statement structure that we like to use. And if you haven't heard it yet, it's called feel, felt, found. I completely understand how you might feel, or how you feel that way. I felt the exact same way, and what I found was. So as we go through some of these, I'll try to highlight how I use that sentence structure with any sort of question that someone may have or some objection that they may have, okay? So let's say, for example, someone says, I'm too busy, right? So what I might say to them, because I was there, right? I was the person working 60 to 80 hours as well in the hospital. And I told my sister, I definitely gave her the objection of, I'm too busy. I can't get to an event. I can't do this business, right? So now I would say, oh my God, Susie, I completely understand how you feel. Trust me, as a hospital administrator who used to work nearly 80 hours a week, plus teaching group exercise classes, plus trying to find some sort of balance in my life for a social life and spending time with my husband, I get it. I told my sister I definitely did not have time to do anything like this. But what I found is that I love these products so much, I couldn't keep my mouth shut. So when I was in between meetings or in the restroom talking with the other gals that I work with, or in the fitness center locker room, wherever it was that I was already at and already talking to people, I started talking to people. And sure enough, one person started to enroll and another person started to enroll, and then they shared with some people. And before I knew it, Isagenix was giving me some major awesome cashback rebates and cashback bonuses. And here, fast forward, I found that I've been able to quit that job that was causing me to spend so much time being away from the things that I really love to do. If there were a way to show you how this could be possible for you, would you be open to it? Would you be open to learning how? Okay, so that might be one example. No matter what someone says to you, remain gracious, remain positive, don't interrupt them, don't assume that you know what they're gonna say. We're just here to listen. And the more that we can open up our ears and we truly listen to what someone is saying to us and not just hearing the words and anticipating what we're going to say next, the more that you can actually connect and understand where they're coming from, so that the feel, felt, found comes across completely genuine, empathic, and caring, that you want to meet them where they're at and not try to persuade or push them to feel a different way, but to cast a vision or to show them something that perhaps they can't see for themselves yet. So let's take another one. Is this a pyramid scheme? Again, that totally would have been me. And before we even answer this question, a lot of times this is a very helpful one to just ask them what exactly they mean by that. Because I think we've all heard the term, is this a pyramid scheme, or heard the term pyramid scheme, but at the end of the day, what exactly does that really mean? I'm not sure I knew. I just knew I had some sort of negative connotation around it. But in all reality, if someone asked me to explain it at that time, I'm not sure I would have known or known exactly what it was. And a lot of people will come back probably stumbling over their words like I was, or they'll say something like, it's where you just have to get a lot of people under you and the person at the top makes a lot of the money. And there's a couple of different ways that you can respond to this, but once you have an understanding of what it is that they believe a pyramid scheme to be, then you'll know how to come back and have the feel, felt, found. So let's take, for example, they think that the person on top is going to make all the money and everyone below them has to do all the work, and the person at the top sits nice and pretty, right? So you might say, Susie, I completely understand how you feel. Trust me, you are talking to the world's largest skeptic when it comes to network marketing, and I thought the exact same thing. But what I found is actually the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. And some people can do nothing and won't make a single dime, and a lot of other people will spend every waking hour that they have outside of time with their family and their work to work hard, and they get rewarded extraordinarily well financially. And the person who comes in today could skyrocket above someone who joined 14 years ago because they're doing more work, they're sharing this with more people, and they're helping to transform more lives down the road. If I could show you how this isn't a pyramid scheme, would you be open to learning more? Or you might ask them questions around, give me an example. Let's take a school. It's a pretty clear example, right? You might ask them, hey, you're a school teacher, right? Who is the person who's at the top of the organization at a school? And they're going to say the principal or the president, the principal, right? And you say, okay, and so underneath the principal, who reports the principal? Who's underneath them? Well, it's the vice principal or the I'm not in school teacher. I think that's the next one, right? And then, okay, and who's below them? Well, it might be the assistant principal, right? And who's below them? Well, the teachers, okay, and who's below them? Well, janitors, or maybe the cooks, right? And so very clearly, they're answering their own question about maybe what a pyramid looks like. And you ask them, okay, so does the principal make more than the vice principal? Yes. And does the vice principal make more than the assistant principal? Yes. And you help to cast out or draw out maybe what typical pyramids already exist in our world today. And then you show them how Isagenix is flip-flopped completely upside down, the other direction, where we lift people up. And the more that we reach down to the bottom and help support one another, we grow a team from the bottom up. which is the complete opposite. The other way to answer that question may be just simply around education. And again, feel found. And then if I were to share some information that I've found since I got involved in this 3 years ago, that has really changed my perspective and helped me to better understand exactly what a pyramid scheme is versus what direct sales is, would you be open to just hearing what I've been educated on myself? And then if they say yes, which anyone is not going to say no, then you can go into things, and there's language all on the website, and I can put it in the chats later, or we can put it in our team call, but that talks about how Isagenix is a member of the Direct Selling Association, that the DSA doesn't allow pyramid schemes, that Isagenix is part of the Better Business Bureau, accredited businesses, and has been awarded the highest rating, an A+ in the BBB. You can talk about Isagenix is a member of the Chandler, Arizona Chamber of Commerce, and that they don't allow pyramid schemes. You could go into a lot more detail to support the argument, but most importantly, it usually has to do that people don't even know what a pyramid scheme actually is, right? How about, I don't want to make money off of my friends? Another very typical one, again, one that I think a lot of us here probably initially felt that way. I totally understand how you feel. I felt that way initially too, and I was pretty scared, and I didn't want to go bug and hunt down my friends to make a dime. But what I found was by just naturally sharing something that I was on a high about, that had literally caused me to release this weight that I'd been working my butt off for years to do and never could, that helped me to feel completely without stress and to be able to sleep soundly at night. I had to tell people. I felt it was unethical not to tell people. And it just happened to be that Isagenix gave me this referral bonus, no different than, say, Verizon Rewards. When you refer a friend to Verizon and they get you some extra points on your Verizon Rewards card, that's all that really was happening. So what I found was that people were going to go buy nutrition products and food and supplements and vitamins, whether I told them about Isagenix or they went to GNC or Whole Foods. They were going to buy the money anyways. Why not share with them something that they're not going to see if they go to GNC and Whole Foods in a way that helps them to see that this is going to get them their health goals and get them to the optimal health that they're looking for, and or help them with some financial goals that they're seeking. And I happen to get a referral bonus, a referral rebate. Lauren says all the time, she's constantly sending people to Lulu, right? Lululemon for the athletic clothing. If she got a referral rebate every time she sends someone to Lululemon, she'd be a millionaire, right? So it just happens that this is Isagenix's way of saying, we know that people buy things from those they know, like, and trust. And so this is the best method for distributing our products. And we save the money rather than being on the shelves of GNC or Whole Foods or some other store, to pass it along to you guys, because people are going to come back and get things from those that they trust and have a relationship. Okay? How about, let's see. Oh, and then there was one other thing I was going to say. I lost it. That's okay. We'll come back to it. Okay, so how about it costs too much? Well, again, this one, if you're going into it already preemptively knowing that this question is going to come up, what we're hoping to have done throughout the conversation is really understand someone's goals and get to a very deep level about what is either not part of their life or what's been going wrong or why they're suffering or why they're struggling, and what it would take for them to get to where they want to be and where they like to be ultimately, right? So someone might say that they want to lose weight, and during the process of this conversation, that's great that they want to lose weight, and maybe I even dig a little deeper and know that they want to lose 10 or 15 pounds, but what does that really mean? And if I've done my job asking questions, open-ended questions throughout the conversation, tell me what it would mean to lose 10 to 15 pounds. How would you be a different person? How would your life be different? What would that look like? What would you be able to do that you can't do right now? People are going to start to peel away the layers of those onions to the point that they're telling me things like, I'd be a better mom. I'd have more energy for my kids. I would feel more confident in my skin, and I think that would improve my relationship with my husband because I'd be more comfortable intimately. Whatever it may be, you're getting to something that's way more than just hey, it'd be nice to lose 10 pounds, right? You're getting to why it really is important to them. So then you also have the opportunity during the call to be asking them what they're doing right now to achieve that 10 to 15 pound weight loss goal, or what they've tried and have not yet found to be successful. And in the process, you're going to be asking them to walk you through a typical day, what they're already eating, what they're already spending money on in terms of other programs or meal replacement shakes, or the food that they're eating that is not getting them to where they want to be. And so you ask them, okay, you've told me that you eat oatmeal and cereal for breakfast, you go out to lunch at Tokyo Joe's, you stop for an afternoon Starbucks shake, or Starbucks iced coffee, and then you and your family go out to dinner again 2 or 3 times a week. How much on a typical day do you think that you're spending with the things that you're already putting in your mouth, with the food that you're already eating? I have to tell you, Kristen, I'm watching you play with your baby. So cute. No, you are totally great. You're awesome. It's just so adorable. I'm sure everyone else has seen it too. I just want to say hi. So, okay, so going back, and by the way, everything that I'm describing is a phenomenal call that Chris Harder did. And if you want to go listen to the podcast, I'm sure someone's already posting in the chat, so we'll get it back up in the team call, but listen to him because he is 100 million times even better than I am. But this is all stuff that I learned from him. So what you're basically doing is finding out how much are they already spending on things that are not getting them their goals. And most people are going to tell you that they're spending somewhere between $10 a day and $20 a day. Almost every single conversation I have, that's where it comes to be. So then now you've got their goals, you've got what they're already spending. And so sort of this brilliant question is, would you rather find a pack that helps you to meet your goals, have accelerated weight loss goals so you can get back to feeling confident, feeling amazing, being that mom that you always wanted to be, that's about $20 a day, that you're going to invest just a little bit more than the $15 a day that you already told me that you're spending, or save $5 extra a day and go with our $10 a day pack, which is going to give you money back to buy those jeans that you want to when you lose the 10 or 15 pounds. They've already sort of told you they're going to be able to spend the money. They're already spending that money. Now we're just going to reallocate it to something that's going to get them where they want to be that they haven't yet. Okay? Let's say you do that, you do it brilliantly, and they still say, okay, well, I can't come up with the $300 or the $450 or the $600 all at once. I get it, I understand it's going to be a reallocation, but I literally don't have that amount of money right now. Feel, felt, found, right? I completely understand how you feel. I get it that it's a lot of money up front and that you might not be able to invest it right away. What I found was that Isagenix has extraordinary cashback referral rebate bonuses that I never even knew existed when I first got started. And I'm just super passionate about making sure everyone knows that those are available to them, because there's no reason that anyone on the planet should have to not be able to afford this nutrition or not be able to put this nutrition in their body. If I could show you how with literally 2 people, Susie, you could get $150 to $370 back, would you be open to learning how? And we could carry on a conversation from there. When they say, yeah, that sounds amazing, hey, that would be half off my pack, then they'd be open to learning, right? How about, I'm not a salesperson? Good, neither am I. That's usually the first thing I say. We don't like salespeople. We want people that are genuine and authentic, and not that salespeople are. And everyone who's in sales, I don't mean to put anyone down. But basically the point being that we're not in here to make a sale and to make a commission. We're here to change lives. And that's what I love about the culture of Isagenix and the community that we have, is that we are just passing along a gift, really. We're giving people a life-changing product that if you genuinely care about other people, just like you tell people about an amazing restaurant, right? You go to eat out at a restaurant and you say, hey, Susie, you should go eat at this restaurant. It was phenomenal. I know you would love it. You love Indian food. I know Lauren would never go, right? But she might. And you thought about her because, you know, she loves Indian food and it's the best new restaurant that just opened up. Or you tell someone about the best massage that you just had. You know, when Christina got into a car accident several months ago, dude, my sister and I immediately sent her to our massage therapist and to our chiropractor because we knew that they were the best on the planet. And you're constantly referring people to things that you know will work and will help them. Isagenix is no different. It just happens to be that you're going to get a referral rebate in cash, but awesome. It's a win-win situation all the way around, right? How about, I don't know enough people? Again, feel, felt, found. Susie, I totally understand how you feel. That was my initial reaction. I thought I'd have to enroll 5,000 people. And at the time, I probably had 3 people that I would literally say were my friends. I knew no one. And what I found is not only did I actually know a lot more people than I thought I did, but I have made more friends in the last 3 years than I could ever dream of. And now my life is so fulfilled because of the people that have come into my life. If I were to ask you right now to make a list of all the people that you would invite to your wedding, how many names do you think you could put down? How many people do you think would be on that list? Naturally, people are going to come up with 50, 100, 200 people on their list. Most people have to cut down their wedding list, right? Because they can't afford to have everyone they know attend. People know people. The true objection is that they don't want to tell people. They don't want to tell the people in their life, which is a whole different objection altogether, right? Or, you know, another one I heard is, if I were to give you $100 for every name that you could think of, how many names do you think you could come up with? It would be endless, right? So you have to understand what people are saying, the words that you're hearing versus what are they really meaning. And again, when you ask enough questions and you ask what they're really getting at and you peel away that onion, you find that there is something deeper that you really can address more so than the words that are being stated. And then the other thing, then let's take that another step further. And let's say someone really has the concern about, well, I would never talk to that person. I wouldn't reach out to them. You know, again, I completely understand how you feel. What I have found over this time is the people that I knew absolutely wholeheartedly would do this. They were my best friend from grade school. I said she would do anything with me, were the ones that potentially ran the farthest away and wanted nothing to do with this. And the people that I thought, no way in heck, this is a long shot, I was terrified to even pick up the phone and call them, happen to be some of the people that love it the most and have shared the most. So I've learned that I can't prejudge anyone, and that I truly, again, this is where your conviction, your posture, your belief has to come wholeheartedly into the picture, is I believe everyone who breathes air deserves to know about Isagenix. It's up to them to make the decision whether or not to take me up on my offer, but I almost feel it is an ethical thing that I need to do to tell people about it, because I know what it can do, and I've watched now hundreds of thousands of people's lives change. And if I don't tell you about it, you might be suffering, and I'd rather you know about it and tell me thank you but no thank you than why didn't you ever tell me about this? I could have completely used $500 a month, or I've been dying to lose, 10 or 15 pounds, whatever it was, right? I know we're running short on time, so let me give you guys just a couple more and then turn it over for any last minute questions before we close for tonight. How about the auto ship one? Anyone get, I don't want to be on auto ship? First and foremost, again, another one to just preemptively address. I tell everyone before I even close the call all about auto ship, that I'm setting them up for auto ship, that they're going to save $10 on their enrollment by being on auto ship, that they're going to be guaranteed future discounts and rewards pricing of being on auto ship, but that I do it because it's a benefit to them, and at any given time they can push it back, they can cancel, they don't have to have something delivered to their door every single month if they don't want it. I just want them to be aware that this extra text message and email is coming to them, and that as we get closer to the end of their first 3 weeks to a month, 30 days on the system, that I will be right there in their back pocket to figure out what the next step is. Do they need to change it? Do they want to adjust it? Do they want to make any sort of changes whatsoever? But again, if you come up with it even before they can ask you, then it doesn't become an objection. How about something like, well, what if I don't like the taste, right? Or I'm not a shake person. felt bound. Same thing. I completely understand how you'd feel that way. You know, I had tried 1,010 shakes before Isagenix, and trust me, all of them, especially the vegan ones, were gross and gritty, and I would like plug my nose to get them down. So why would this one be any different? But what I found was that they taste freaking amazing, and I could drink like 5 of them a day, and I'm not kidding you. But here's the awesome thing, Susie. Like, Isagenix stands behind their products so wholeheartedly that they will literally give you 30 days to try it for free. And so if I'm blowing smoke up here, you know what, and none of this is true, send it back. I don't care. I just want you to try it and to see that you are going to love them as much as everyone else on our team does. And ultimately, I know it's going to help you to get those goals. So if we were to enroll you, would you be open to just trying it? Try it out for a week or 2 weeks, and we'll see. Plus, I have all kinds of tips and tricks up my sleeve that I can give you some awesome recipes, ways to doctor them up and make them taste amazing if for some reason you struggle at the beginning. How would that be? So you guys, let me just give you a couple of things. Someone can post these in the chats for more information. There are some awesome calls. Laura Stevens has a part 1 and part 2 overcoming objections that you can Google and find on YouTube. Chris Harder, I mentioned, I think someone already posted the link. Awesome overcoming objections call. Obviously, all of our other resources have a ton of great things, and Google is just your best friend. If you literally Google Isagenix plus objections, you're going to find a lot of other resources that you guys can turn to. But with about 5 minutes left, I do want to close it out on my end, open it up, and just see if anyone has any questions or things that I could answer specifically, things that you're struggling with. So thanks all for listening. And I don't know, Laura, if we unmute everyone or turn it back to you, perhaps.
They can just on the bottom left on the microphone, like scroll over and hover over it, and they can unmute themselves. But you did awesome. And Chris, thank you for posting all those links. I know we've been chatting back and forth. By the way, it's now called Lulu Lauren.
Awesome.
But I can't ever post it because I have the recording, so it'll change. But he posted it all on there. It was great. Ashley, Jackie, Kristen, you guys were awesome. Thank you so much. Rachel, amazing job. Really great content and info for everybody.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys. See you next week. Week 5. Go crush it.
Thank you.
Bye,
Good
guys.
job, Rach. Awesome. Bye, guys.
Thank you. See you later. Bye.
Roll down your windows.
Next time we'll do it outside. Bye.